Good afternoon, everyone. Jeremy here, Quant Strategic Singapore, and this is the video on the banks. I put up a video on the bank stocks a couple of weeks back, and we just want to see how the long signal has progressed since that particular video. And looking at the DBS first, this is the DBS Bank stocks, and if you look at the long-term chart of DBS Bank, we had additional very nice long signal in the month of November. And in November, we had a target of initially $2.65, 265, and then a price target of 26.75. So DBS Bank actually hit about $26 and then sort of pulled back a little bit. But the good news is that on the monthly basis, the pullback still managed to hanging on above the SSSA line of the cloud. So this is pretty good price action. And what we want to see is that into next year, the close of December and into January and February, we want to break above 26.75 so that we can get higher highs and perhaps test $31 on a monthly basis. Continuing with DBS Bank on the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart for DBS Bank, a very nice long signal, 2nd of November 2020 at $22.49, targeting 26.75. So we did hit $26, quite a nice trade there. A little bit of pullback, which is expected, but still very, very nicely up in this trend, and expect it to continue rallying into the end of the year. Now, for those of you who have taken the long signal on the 3rd of November 2020 at about $21.36, make sure that you put your stop loss on a pivot at $24.47. All right. So what we expect price to do right now is to actually, if it's going to pull back, try to pull back towards 24.47 and then bounce up and then hit our target of 26.75 and beyond. If it breaks 24.47, then price may test the floor at about 22.50, and a little bit of weakness may set in if this happens. Finally, on the 4-hourly charts, you can see DBS Bank, all right, with quite a bit of weakness here as well as here, which is over the past 2 weeks, a little bit of a range and range and retrace. And currently it closed very close to the pivot of $25.09. All right, a break of this pivot, 25.09, may show a bit of corrective weakness. And for those of you who are long this particular stock, make sure that your particular pivot is set to $25 at least to protect yourself. For those of you who have taken this particular long signal earlier on in 3rd of November 2020, if you're still in this particular trade. So as a recap, DBS Bank currently on a long-term chart basis, if we manage to break the pivot at $26.75, we may be able to establish a new long-term trend, all right, together with a new medium-term uptrend, together with a short-term uptrend as well, giving a very nice bullish entry into 2021 for DBS Bank stock. So for OCBC Bank, it's pretty much the same, except that in a long-term basis, if you look at the OCBC's long-term charts, it is still very much below the SSSB line of the cloud, and it is still on this very, very bullish, bearish downtrend, in spite of the fact that it actually rallied from about $8.50 to about $10. All right, it was a nice run for November and December, but still it is pretty weak with a downtrending long-term chart. Otherwise, for OCBC Bank, pretty much similar in terms of the medium-term price action. It is very nicely bullish, as well as the short-term daily, which is all too as well bullish. For OCBC Bank, for those who are long in the month of November, want to protect your profits, make sure that you have a stop loss set to at least $9.74, so that price you're protected if price actually breaks down and tests the base of the SSSB line on the cloud. All right, on a very short-term basis for the 4 hourly charts, once again, like DBS Bank, OCBC closed very, very close to the pivot at $10.06. If it breaks $10.06, we might go down and test further to about 9.20 to 9.40. So protect your profits, guys. Watch the pivot at $9.74 on the daily and short-term pivot at $10.06. All right, finally, I'm going to cover UOB Bank. So UOB Bank and OCBC Bank have one thing common, even though they have rallied very nicely, but still below the SSSB line on the cloud. So for UOB Bank, rallied from about $19 to about $22.68. Very nice $3.60 profit, but still under the SSSB line of the monthly charts, and the pivot is at $25.69. That is still the ultimate profit level. And for the Santa Claus rally towards the end of 2020, we could expect UOB Bank to hit $25.69. As you can see from the medium charts, still a very nice uptrend and very, very well trading above the SSSA line on the weekly charts. All right, on the short-term basis, similar to the other two banks, watch for this pivot as well, $22.31, as well as $22.60. A break of either of these pivots, all right, would have a little bit of weakness, targeting about $21 or even $20.50. All right, same for the 4 hourly charts. So in general, what I can say for all three banks is that a very nice year-end rally has ensued, and all of them are trying to hit their pivots. But to see whether they get a new long-term uptrend, yes, is yet to be seen. All right, so protect yourselves for those who had a very nice trade since November, where we had our 4 hour long signals. Please protect your profits by putting your stop losses at the pivot on the dailies as well as the 4 hourlies. All right, guys, have a great Christmas next week, and I'll update you on the banks again probably in 2 weeks' time. All right, have a Merry Christmas, and catch you again very, very soon.